Well, good evening and happy Sabbath, Hamilton Central Church family. Thanks for tuning in for night 6 of our family week of prayer, Living Fruitful Love, where we're looking at the fruits of the Spirit that we find in Galatians chapter 5. Tonight we are looking at faithfulness, and we're going to have Charlie with our reading soon, but I thought I'd just share with you our fruit this evening is the matoke. Now when I saw this, I thought that looks familiar, but I haven't heard it called that before. When you see the picture, you might recognize it. It is the green banana. So let's learn about the matoke. So matoke is a staple fruit in East Africa. It belongs to the banana family, obviously. It's green on the outside and white on the inside. Matoke fruit is used mainly for cooking when they are green and unripe. Obviously, some of our island family will be familiar with this, of course. It's cooked very similarly to potatoes. They need to soften and cook through to be eaten. It has a savoury taste with little sweetness, making it a great companion to several main dishes. The fruit is harvested green, carefully peeled, and then cooked and often mashed or pounded into a meal. In Uganda and Rwanda, the fruit is steam cooked, and the mashed meal is considered a national dish in both countries. So that is the matoke. So we're obviously familiar with it on this side of the world as just green bananas, I think. But yeah, so interesting fruit. So now Charlie's going to share with us about faithfulness.
Dictionary.com defines faithfulness as lasting loyalty and trustworthiness in relationships, especially marriage and friendship. Also, the fact of quality of being true to one's word or commitments as to what one has pledged to do, professes to believe, and the fact or quality of being dedicated and steadfast in performing one's duty, working for a cause. This is the Family Togetherness Week of Prayer, an apt opportunity to highlight faithfulness as a fruit of love that comes from being filled with the Spirit of God. True faithfulness in our relationship with others, especially in our families, is fueled by God's love in us. Each time we keep our promises to one another and are loyal to each other in our family relationships, it demonstrates the fruit of God's love in our hearts. Every time we are faithful to our marriage vows, whether at home or on a business trip, we display the fruit of love through our faithfulness. While faithfulness is an outcome of life in the Spirit, sexual immorality, impurity, indecent behaviour are indications of the desires of the flesh at work. We must ask ourselves the question, am I faithful like Joseph was when he was tempted by Potiphar's wife? Joseph's response to Mrs. Potiphar's inappropriate answers was, how then could I do this great evil and sin against God? In Genesis 39:9. And being filled with the Spirit of God means having the fuel to walk by the Spirit in faithfulness and at once standing against the desires of the flesh. These two forces are antagonistic, contradictory, discordant and incompatible with each other. One comes from the one who is the light, while the other comes from the Prince of Darkness. We each have been given the choice to either walk by the Spirit or to engage in the deeds of the flesh. To walk by the Spirit means we will bear the fruit of obedience, which is what faithfulness is all about. Addressing what it means to live a life of faithfulness, Ellen White shares in the ministry of healing. And I quote, "We need constantly a fresh revelation of Christ, a daily experience that harmonizes with His teachings. High and holy attainments are within our reach. Continual progress in knowledge and virtue is God's purpose for us." And that's found in the Ministry of Healing, page 503. Yes, faithfulness is only faithfulness when we continue to grow in our daily walk with Jesus and live a life compatible with His teachings. This is only achievable when we are filled with God's Spirit. So pick the fruit of faithfulness today. not only in the easy matters of your family relationships, but also in the more difficult and challenging ones that demonstrate you have chosen to walk with Jesus. And may God bless us to be faithful today and every day until Jesus comes again.
Thanks for that reading on faithfulness, Charlie. As always, throughout the week, we've had a couple of discussion questions that we can discuss together as a family, and then we move into a time of prayer. So spend 5 or 10 minutes in prayer, or however long you like, but first answer these two questions. So the first question is this: where in the story of Jesus does he show us how to be faithful? Where in the story of Jesus does he show us how to be faithful? And again, there are numerous instances of Jesus showing us how to be faithful. And the second question is this: how can we be more faithful in our own home? How can we be more faithful? How can we be more committed to Jesus and to his church in our home? So again, just take some time to answer those two questions and move into that time of prayer. And we'll see you tomorrow night for our final night of our family week of prayer, Living Fruitful Love. Again, happy Sabbath. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.